Tensions remain high in Kundiawa. Camps return to Port Moresby before house sitting. And Morobe people expecting better services.
This is National MTV News with Morobe Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us for Tuesday's news. Tensions remain high in Kundiawa following election-related clashes on Sunday in which 3 people were killed. Fighting erupted between supporters of sitting MP Tobias Kulang and rival candidates. Kulang has since been arrested and is being held in Goroka in police custody for his alleged part in the clashes.
Today, Kundiawa was calm, but the calm is deceptive. On Sunday, the town was the scene of intense fighting between supporters of the sitting MP for Kundiawa Gembok, Tobias Kulang, and rival candidates. At least 3 people were killed, many more were injured. Some have not gone to hospital for fear of payback. The seething tensions remain.
All open fire na, all Ronnie Molman, all make him come na. This problem come up, and Mol come na. All bendi mouse blend.
At the center of town, a vehicle allegedly used by the attackers was burnt on Sunday. At the edge of town, what remains of a house of a council president who supported the sitting MP. Other vehicles used in the fighting were also set alight. 2 more destroyed early yesterday. For many in the Simbu province, this election has been the most turbulent. Among the many events that have happened, a senior army officer was arrested for attempting to smuggle a writ into Hagen. And the many disruptions have meant that counting has been delayed. At the counting centre, eliminations are ongoing with declarations still a long way off as Parliament prepares to sit for the formation of government. Scott Waide, National MTV News, Kundiawa.
An application filed by Yalibu Pangia candidate Stanley Liria to stop Yalibu Pangia MP-elect Peter ONeill from entering Parliament House tomorrow has been refused. The Waigani National Court rejected the application because a similar application was filed before the Supreme Court. Thus, Justice Colin McKyle ruled that the application before the National Court is sub judice and that of the Supreme Court. This urgent application was to relook at Section 130 of the Organic Law on polling on a Sunday. Liria filed the application at the Supreme Court after Yalibu Pangia went to the polls on a Sunday. This, Liria argued, was illegal according to the law. 3 more candidates have joined the PNC Alotau camp: Kagua Erave's Wesley Ramenai, Nipa Kutubu's Jeffrey Komal, and re-elected Jiwaka Governor Dr. William Tongap. They arrived in Alotau this morning with PNC leader Peter ONeill and United Resource Party leader William Duma. As of this morning, the PNC-led coalition had 59 members, and ONeill is confident of returning as Prime Minister.
While the weather was dull this morning in Alotau, that did not stop Southern West Air landing at Guinea Airport to bring in 3 more members to the Alotau camp. PNC Party leader Peter ONeill and United Resource Party leader William Duma arrived with newly elected member for Kagua Erave Wesley Ramenai, Jiwaka Governor Dr. William Tongap, and Nipa Kutubu member-elect Jeffrey Komal. That brings the number of elected members to 59 at the PNC-led coalition camp. Mr. ONeill says they are intact and they'll let their numbers do the talking tomorrow.
Well, the numbers are there, and there's every indication that we are in a position to form government. Our coalition has been very strong from day one. We have no reason to not form government.
He also went on to comment on the URP member-elect for North Fly and Western Province Governor-elect's move to the Kokopo camp.
There are a lot of speculations and horse trading that maybe seem to be going on, but we are not interested in those. We have been interested in collecting the party members that we have been endorsing under our different parties, either PPP or URP or, of course, PNC. It's really unbecoming of leaders running around the country picking other parties and those candidates, and we don't condone that. We deplore such behavior. I think it's unbecoming of leaders. I call on the Ombudsman Commission and the relevant authorities to investigate all these things thoroughly.
ONeill says he is confident and the coalition is intact.
All in all, PNC has been given the mandate. We now have over 27 We're expecting 2 or 3 more from the other electorates that are still outstanding to be counted. But we have a very strong partnership with URP, strong partnership with PPP, who are the cornerstones of our government.
The second Alatau Accord was signed at midday today between PNC, United Resource Party, Social Democratic Party, United Party, People's Democratic Movement, PNG Country Party, and People's Party.
Elections have been difficult over the past 3 months, but elections are now over. We must unite every leader. We must unite in thinking, and we must unite in driving our country forward for the good of everyone. That is why I'm very thankful for the conclusion of this document that is going to be our guide over the next 5 years. And I invite all the party leaders that we sign this document today.
After the signing, the 59 members boarded a chartered flight for Port Moresby. They arrived at Jackson's airport and moved straight to Crown Plaza, where they will await the first parliamentary sitting for the 10th Parliament tomorrow. Adelaide Xerox Kari, National, MTV News.
The member-elect for Moresby North East and PNG National Party member John Kalpa said his decision to move to the Alatau camp was based on the choice of being in government. Kalpa also said he wanted to work closely with NCD Governor and Social Democratic Party leader Paul Sparkop and Moresby South MP and PNC candidate Justin Chechenko. Kalpa also said that he hopes to deliver vital services to Moresby North East in the first 100 days.
John Kalpa says he understood he ran under the PNG National Party, but he wants to be part of the government and he is confident the PNC-led coalition will form government.
So I need to be in the government. That's the cry and that's the will of my people. I know the Honorable Kerengokua sponsored me under PNG National Party, but my people's choice comes first.
He also wants to work close with NCD Governor Paul Sparkop and Moresby South member Justin Chechenko.
So I need to work with the current governor, Honorable Paul Sparkop, so that I can implement and I can give service to my people of Moresby North East.
But there has been an outcry on social media about his move. But Kalpa says he is doing what is best for his electorate.
I'd like to tell the people of Moresby North East and that I end up with Governor in Alatau camp just because of the service that my people at Moresby North East want. And my conscience and my will is clear.
He believes he can deliver vital services like water and market spaces in the first 100 days in office.
Yeah, that's the first project. If Donald Trump can do it in 100 days, I can do it in 100 days. I will execute it, make sure that 6 Mile Market become another bigger market, not downsizing and, we want to make it bigger and greater for the people of Moresby North East, especially Ward 6. There are more than 40,000 people. They are entitled to a proper market and something convenient. I think the design is already, and it's with Governor. I need to pick it up and we need to fund it and make it, happen.
Adelaide Xerox Kari, National, MTV News, Alatau.
People's Progress Party senior member and re-elected New Island Governor Sir Julius Chan says they are part of the PNC-led coalition to form the 10th government. Sir Julius says PPP has joined the PNC and will work to improve the delivery of services and benefits to the people. He says PPP elected members are a quality team. To East New Britain Province and at least 12 members from the Alliance Party coalition are in Kokopo. The two chartered aircraft ferried the 12 members, including Sam Basil, Patrick Pruitt, Kerengakua, Belden Nama, and Semekere Morauta. The Alliance Party converged in Kokopo as of Saturday, and they say they are expecting more to join in the remaining 24 hours before the opening of the 10th Parliament tomorrow.
Two chartered aircraft arrived at the Tokua airport at 5:30 late yesterday, ferrying at least 12 members of the Alliance Party coalition. Amongst them was Pangu Party leader Sam Basil, National Alliance Party leader Patrick Pruitt, PNG Party leader Belden Nama, and PNG National Party leader Kerengakua. Accompanying the party leaders was Semekere Morauta and other independent candidates.
Governor of Lower Western Province. Member of Wabek. Dr. Lino. Member Guinea. Lucas Dekena.
The 12 members who arrived yesterday evening were welcomed by other Alliance members who arrived earlier in Kokopo over the weekend. The 12 Alliance members were then transported to the Kokopo Beach Bungalow, the host venue of the Alliance bloc. The Alliance coalition is expected to convene at a media conference today, where they will be officially announcing their total headcounts and also to announce their plans for the next 24 hours before they head into Parliament tomorrow. They are also expecting some more members to join the Alliance bloc by today and tomorrow. Edwin Fidelis, National EMTV News, Kokopo.
To Madang Province, security personnel have guaranteed the completion of the electoral process in order for a declaration for the Madang regional seat. Counting resumed at 11 o'clock this morning after it was suspended. Electoral officials anticipate a declaration very soon.
This morning, counting for the Madang Regional did not resume at 8 a.m. as planned. Instead, security personnel and election officials held an adjourned meeting with Election Manager Peter Yasero and Justin Pantumari to discuss security issues before counting resumes. At 10 a.m., the meeting ended and both election officials and security personnel drove back into the counting venue. There, a small briefing was held. Election Manager Peter Yasero met with counting officials, while PPC Madang met with his men. Security personnel have agreed to resume work in the counting venue after counting officials apologized over their actions. Provincial Police Commander Superintendent Jacob Singura accepted the apology, saying security personnel are only doing their job. Therefore, some information that is not to be disclosed will be kept confidential.
My intention was not to disrupt or to cause inconvenience in the counting and the elimination of these results that was going on. I want to make it plainly clear that we provide security and we want to see that it is provided in that environment, which is free, which must be fair, honest and transparent.
Meanwhile, Madang Regional is into its final elimination and is expecting a declaration later this afternoon. Mata Luis, National EMTV News, Madang.
6 seats are yet to be declared as counting progresses in the remaining electorates. Electoral Commissioner Patilis Gamato, in his final briefing this afternoon, confirmed that he has returned 105 seats writs to the Governor-General.
This leaves only 6 electorates that are still counting, and they include Chimbu Provincial, Kundiawa Gambog Open seat, Eastern Islands Provincial seat, Kandap Open seat, Southern Islands Provincial seat, and Madang Provincial seat.
You're watching National EMTV News. When we come back, the progressive results for counting in the remaining seats of the national general elections. Stay with us. Welcome back to National EMTV News. We take a look now at some progressive results from counting around the country. We begin in the Madang province, and for the Madang regional seat, after exclusion number 28, PLP candidate Peter Yama is in the lead, 69,121, just ahead of James Yali of the National Alliance, 62,329. And for the Madang regional seat, we are expecting a declaration to be made later this evening. Over to the Southern Highlands province, and for the Southern Highlands regional seat, the progressive results after count 539. William Powi of the People's National Congress is in the lead, 103,923. Joe Cobol, 70,194. Jerry Kiwai, 47,356. And more than 100 boxes are still yet to be counted for Southern Highlands Regional. I'll look now at how the political parties stand as of 6 p.m. this evening. In total, 105 seats have been declared for the 10th Parliament. As of 6 p.m. this evening, PNC Party have registered 27 members. The National Alliance have registered 15 members. As of 6 p.m., 14 independents have been declared. Pangu Party has managed 10 members, the URP have 9 members, and the People's Progress Party have registered 6 members. The PNG Party have registered 4 members in the next parliament. The SDP have 3 members. PNG National Party have also 3 members, and the party have registered 3 members as well. And the other minor parties have totaled 11. So in total, 105 seats declared for the 10th National Parliament as it gets underway tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Moving on, Governor-elect for Central Province Robert Agarobe has appealed to fellow members-elect from Central, Gulf and Western provinces to stand together for the people's benefit. His decision to join the alliance comes from his belief that the members are an inclusive collection of leaders with a shared vision for development that puts the people first. He urged the leaders to act as a team to restore a government for all that is serious about real and equal service delivery. A senior pastor representing a group of churches around the country has called on elected politicians to stand against corruption. Body of Christ Reverend Joseph Walters says the way a political party was asked to form government was unconstitutional and elected members must see it for what it is. Government is set to be formed tomorrow with the nomination of the Speaker as well as Prime Minister.
We must break the vicious cycle of corruption. And we pray that people, when they make decisions, leaders, when they are making decisions like voting for something or someone, will be guided by their convictions and listen to the voice of their conscience and choose right and choose well, putting the nation's well-being ahead of their own. That is the kind of leadership the nation is crying for, and they are expecting and believing and praying that this parliament, the next government, will lead the people away from all these evil things like corruption and bribery that has been destroying this nation, and for once lead the nation to the place where God and the people wants it to be.
The people of Morobe province are expecting change when their 10 elected members enter the 10th National Parliament. They want a unified leadership in the province and improvement to service delivery for the 9 districts in the next 5 years.
All 9 members-elect and Morobe's governor-elect have already been declared. Whilst 8 of the 10 elected are new, only 2 members have retained their seats, Sam Basil for Bulolo and Ross Seymour for Hugh and Gulf. People in Morobe have experienced hardships in service delivery in the various districts.
Service onsite, school and bagarap, housing and bagarap, ogre something, road block, kartu and nogat.
Time musem o potholes na kaino sem kamaplo le city. Miniso or narpla all part narpla a province plan country district plan sa Morobe. Minimum sem no good place service in Salon. Place where we plus tapongin.
The election results show that people in Morobe have chosen Pangu leadership. Voting into parliament, 7 out of 10 Pangu leaders, including the governor-elect Ginsen Saonu. Saonu's votes came from areas that had voted in Pangu candidates. Other parties represented in Morobe are the National Alliance and Christian Democratic Party, and 1 independent.
Morobe province, melakinusla amas pla 9 pla member blomipla, one time governor blomipla, almost come one pla ting. So the man gonna form a good pla government.
The people are demanding that their new leaders bring change, working together to improve service delivery.
Me pla trust mol na me pla putemol an blomipla longol. Me pla like must change. I must come up inside Morobe.
Me pla like him road must coincide because all mama blomipla.
Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Leh.
And now a look at the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.3145 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.307 US, $0.3801 Australian dollars, 1.2559 euro and 33.52 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, coffee and cocoa closed higher, while copper closed the day lower. Palm oil is trading higher, crude oil and copper closed the day higher. And on the stock markets, the Dow Jones closed 60 points higher, the ASX 50 points higher, and the All Ordinaries 47 points higher. Here with National MTV News, the day's other stories when we return. Stay tuned. Welcome back to National MTV News. The Morobe province has been experiencing heavy rains in the past weeks. Houses, sheds and gardens in Huon Gulf's Gabensis village were washed away by the floods. Villagers in the area have moved to higher ground. People living near the Makam Bridge have also been affected. There have been no reports of casualties or deaths. This was confirmed by the Director of the Provincial Disaster Office, Charlie Masange. He said officers are being sent to the affected areas to assess the situation. Masange is urging communities living in floodplain areas to take extra precaution during this time, as these areas are highly likely to be affected. Turning overseas now, the United States has branded Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro a dictator and slapped him with fresh sanctions that target his personal assets. The move comes after Maduro's government won a controversial vote that allows it to rule with virtually unlimited powers.
For President Maduro, this was a big win. State TV ran his victory speech at length. But for the millions of people who boycotted the vote, it was a hollow victory, if that. This morning, Caracas felt like a normal city, people getting back to work after a difficult weekend. But still, Venezuelans are divided. Luis voted because he says he's had enough of the protests, but Adelaida didn't. As a Venezuelan, she says she feels so hurt. She's worried about her family. The late Hugo Chavez is still an icon here. His face a constant reminder that he was the leader who started Venezuela's socialist revolution. But high oil prices helped support him. With an economy now in crisis, President Maduro is losing friends both at home and abroad, not least in the US, which today announced it would impose sanctions on the president. Hector Rodriguez is a rising figure in the government and the man who led the campaign for the new assembly. He, like Maduro, blames the opposition for the violence of the past few months, but says foreign powers have meddled in Venezuela too.
We've said before that the problems of Venezuela are Venezuela's alone. It's for our people to choose what happens in their country.
But that's the problem. Millions of people boycotted this vote. President Maduro said turnout was 8 million, but many doubt this figure and accuse the government of voter fraud. This country's seen 4 months of violent confrontations. 17-year-old Neomar Landa was killed in June during a protest. Every day he used to head to the streets. Now his mother tells me she's doing the same. For me, the best justice for Neomar and for everyone who's died is to make sure we achieve what we're asking for, she says, for the government to go.
In the United States, according to Donald Trump, it's a great day at the White House. This despite news that Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci has been forced out of the job after only 10 days in the role. It comes as the new Chief of Staff, John Kelly, was sworn in.
It was one of the fastest, crudest flameouts in West Wing history. Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci, known simply as the Mooch, forced out after just 11 days on the job. The new White House Chief of Staff, John Kelly, pushing for his departure. Scaramucci, a wealthy Wall Street financier, handpicked by the president and his family, cast himself from the start as a personal friend of the commander-in-chief.
I love the president. I obviously love the country.
But from day one, there was bad blood between Scaramucci and former Chief of Staff Reince Priebus.
We are a little bit like brothers, where we rough each other up once in a while, which is totally normal for brothers.
It only got worse.
Some brothers are like Cain and Abel. Other brothers can fight with each other and then get along. I don't know if this is repairable or not. That will be up to the president.
But then Scaramucci redefined what it meant to go off message. The communications director calling up a reporter and launching into a tirade, calling Priebus a paranoid schizophrenic, threatening to fire essentially the entire White House communications team over leaks, saying they'll all be fired by me. And I fired one guy the other day. I have 3 to 4 people I'll fire tomorrow. He also tore into the president's chief strategist, Steve Bannon. I'm not Steve Bannon, he said, launching into an attack so profane we can't repeat it on television. He said, I'm not trying to build my own brand. The White House today said the president, who's used some choice words himself in the past, was none too happy about Scaramucci's comments.
The president certainly felt that Anthony's comments were inappropriate for a person in that position.
This morning, following the swearing in of the new chief of staff, Scaramucci was in the back of the room. And today, the White House issuing a stunning shift in the chain of command. Everyone, including the president's own daughter and son-in-law, report to John Kelly.
Here with National EMTV News. After these messages, some sporting updates in Trukai Sports. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. After months of hard training, the National Airfield women's team, the Flames, are ready for the International Cup title in Australia this Friday. Coach Jonathan Illa is optimistic the Flames will perform well against the rest of the world.
As head coach for the first time, 23-year-old Jonathan Illa from Morobe is determined for good final results. Despite his special need, Illa, who is on wheelchair, is confident because it was his dream to coach a team just like any other able person. And the overwhelming support gives them the hope.
It's exciting. It's exciting, new level for me as a first-time coach in the international, my first time. It's very exciting to coach the PNG Flames girls. Okay. A lot of them are really talented. Working with them only for a week, and they're very comforting too, given the limited time of us spending together.
The team comprises of most of the 2011 players, showing their new comrades the skills and techniques required. Illa says expectations are high, but at the same time, Flames should also enjoy and have fun.
My expectations with our girls are that I just want them to do their best. Representing the country is one thing, but in that level is another thing also. It's very exciting for most of them. I think majority of these players are all new to the international thing, and flying to a foreign country to play other countries is another step for them, a big step for them.
Ready to touch the globe, the Flames will depart this Friday and join the PNG Mosquitoes in Melbourne on the 4th. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
To Rugby League, and the Motu Koita Rugby League Zone Championships kicked off today at the Sir John Guy Stadium. The tournament ends on Thursday, the 3rd of August.
The tournament consists of 4 teams representing the 4 different zones in Motu Koita.
We selected 4 best teams representing each zones, starting from Moresby South villages, Motu Koita villages, Wabukori Pari, Babukori Kila Kila Mahuru Korobosha, 2 Hanobada teams, and Tatana Baruni, and we have Porebada Papa and Lela teams.
Players will be selected from the tournament to make up the Central and NCD team.
We are going to select those teams, the NCD origin, Central origin, and they'll be playing on the 20th of August for in one of the curtain races for Hunters games.
The Hanwabada team has dominated the Motu Koita Rugby League competition. MKRL Secretary Arthur Patrick says they will be tough to beat in this year's zone championships.
Singly out, I'm looking at the Hanwabada teams. You know, they're known for rugby league so many years back, and they have a tough team with Zone 3, which is comprised from the Tatana and Baruni Eagles, and also the Porebada teams, Leala and Papa. They're also tough.
The first match kicked off today with Zone 1 taking on Zone 3. This was followed by Zone 2 taking on Zone 4. Motukoita Rugby League is still in their planning stages of including a team in the Intercity Cup competition.
From this first season, our progress has been very good, and we have a good backing coming from Governor. So we are looking forward to that, and this is just the start.
Elijah Levet, National, MTV Sports.
To football, and reigning NSL champions Lake City Dwellers were the first through to the finals after a 2-1 win over Besta PNG United. The game was tied at full-time after a late comeback from the PNG development side that forced the match into extra time. However, Dwellers' prolific striker Raymond Gunemba scored the winner to mark his team's third appearance in the NSL final. Meanwhile, the other semi-final match between PS Wawe United and Madang FC was postponed to a later date due to bad weather in Lae. The winner of this match will face Lake City Dwellers in the upcoming NSL Grand Final. And we'll have more of Trukai Sports after these messages. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The Pacific Games Council today has confirmed that Guam is now part of the trio vying to host the Pacific's largest sporting event. Guam now joins Samoa and Tahiti, but a final decision on which country will host will be made by the Pacific Games Council. The council stressed that proper reviews of financial commitments and site visits will be made before an alternate host can be named. The University of Papua New Guinea has agreed to work side by side with James Cook University to improve sportsmanship. This partnership aims to develop and upskill talent and will continue for the next 5 years.
Director of PNG High Performance, Aaron Alsop, says developing and focusing on talents is just one aspect of producing top sportsmen and women, but the need to upskill teaching staff is most needed to complete this cycle. Apart from the Talent ID program, another focus area is to engage both parties, the coaches and managers, to work together.
So one of the things that we're looking on is to meet the gap is where JCU have offered to twin with UPNG, and they're doing that in a couple of different other subject areas, but one of the ones that we're wanting to work on is around the area of something like sport and exercise science. We know that JCU's program has a good reputation. Both Glenn Deacon and Stephen Bird, who head that program up out of Cairns, have offered to look at ways that we can bring potentially that course through UPNG. It may start out just as some subjects within the science degree at UPNG, and it'll expand from there.
Aaron is hoping this exchange program continues to teach and educate athletes on sports science. Identifying training and environmental conditions for athletes is vital, with testing different weather conditions. This is because certain sporting codes will help both universities to establish areas needed most where particular sports are taken. Aaron says scholarships for staff are also available with James Cook University and other Australian universities, including New Zealand.
There is actually some good opportunities. I know that through AusAid there's the Australian Awards scholarships. I know that New Zealand Aid actually offers some programs for their country as well. So we're very keen to look at opportunities for our staff to go and get some good qualifications and the chance to study in a place like JCU. We've got some other university relationships that we would work on in different areas, but I know it's something that it's really important to me over the next couple of years is to make sure that our staff have got that pathway for their own education. So where we can, we try to do it here in the workplace so that it's practically applied. It's not just theory. We want to try and keep it in our context under the conditions that they work in now.
Godwin Eki, National, MTV Sports.
And that's it for Trukai Sports. Up next, your weather details for Wednesday. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Fine and sunny for Port Moresby. Fine, although becoming cloudy for Daru. Showers in Kerma, Alotau and Popondetta. To the Momasa region, light showers and rain expected in Lae and Wau. Mostly fine for Madang, Wewak and Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands, all the major centres, Lorengau, Kavieng, Kokopo, Rabaul, Kimbe and Boka, you can expect a shower or two. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, all these major centres can expect fine weather, although some low cloud over the next 24 hours.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, with doing with Dulux.
Before we go, Electoral Commissioner Patiles Gamato has returned 5 more writs this afternoon, bringing the total number of writs returned to 105. In his final media briefing before the first meeting of the 10th National Parliament, Commissioner Gamato said despite all the challenges experienced, the 2017 national elections was a success.
Commissioner Gamato said on Friday, 81 writs were returned. Yesterday, 19 writs were returned, and today, 5 writs would have been returned to the head of state. That's a total of 105 writs returned, with 6 writs still outstanding. Among the 5 writs returned today was that of the Guinea open seat.
As far as counting process is concerned, Nick Kuman was won with a difference of 391 votes. This was according to the count supervisor Margaret Tokam, ARO for Dingena, who put up the score. Decision to remove 412 votes after final exclusion from the leading candidate was the sole decision of the returning officer, Max Yomba. The returning officer did announce to the counting officials and the candidates that he will remove 412 votes from the lead candidate and go ahead with his declaration. It is wrong to remove votes after the elimination process. After verifying the results from 66A and B and 66B, it was found that the elimination were in order where Nick Kuman scored the required absolute majority of 50+1, and the returning officer Peter Kalpa declared Nick Kuman a duly elected member-elect for Guinea Open electorate before my Deputy Commissioner Simon Sinai here in the Electoral Commission headquarters. So now I recognize Nick Kuman as the duly elected member for Guinea Open in the Chimbu province.
Mr. Gamato also explained the situation with the Southern Highlands provincial seat.
I refuse to declare William Powie on the basis that Powie did not achieve the absolute majority +1 as required under the LPV system. While at the same time, I recognize that Southern Highlands provincial seat has gone through some law and order issues, including killing and threats on the lives of people, including the threat on the life of the provincial returning officer, Jacob Kurab. I've made a decision that counting for Southern Islands will continue and complete after the remaining 188 boxes and those ballot boxes objected to be identified and set aside. As such, I have not recognized William Powie as the duly elected member for Southern Islands, simply because the counting process has not been completed.
Commissioner Gamato said security would be beefed up in the Southern Highlands province to ensure counting and declaration will be completed without any more hiccups. Mr. Gamato admitted that the major challenges of these elections were the issues with the common roll and the scrutiny process of the elections. Deli Waigeno, National, EMTV News.
And that's how it is this Tuesday, the 1st of August 2017. Do join us at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning for a special coverage on the opening of the 10th National Parliament. But until then, on behalf of the EMTV News team, pleasant viewing. Good night.